Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Yeah. Welcome to Massenomics, the world's strongest podcast. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Massenomics. Make sure you go visit Massenomics.com. There you'll find the rest of our powerful content. While you're there, check out our store and buy yourself some of that sweet Massenomics gear.
Welcome, everyone, to the world's strongest podcast, the Massenomics podcast. The best two Massenomics podcast hosts in the world are here again, Tommy and Tanner.
What's up?
So here we're back at it again.
We are doing it again.
I didn't call off the number of this one. Is this like 145-ish, 144?
This is 144. But I mean, really, who's counting at this point?
That's true.
I think everyone quit counting after 20. Because that was when it ran its course, right?
You're like, oh, they're still doing that. I quit listening after the first couple.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
No, we're still here. We did survive Snowmageddon, though. We were talking about the blizzard of the year this last time on the episode, and we survived.
It was just barely.
Yeah.
Like, it was rough.
The worst part is after the snowplow comes by and fills in your driveway with all of the ice chunks off of the road, and you have to figure out a way to get that out of there.
Oh, yeah. You don't have the problem that... Well, I think we've talked about this, but, like, you saw mine as a whole nother level now with the sidewalk thing. Like, it is
I looked at it today on my way in, and I was like, there is no way to clean that off at this point in time.
Yeah, that guy's screwed.
There literally is not. Oh, it's not like snow where you picture you go like, oh, snow.
No, just someone dumped large blocks of ice all over your yard, and somehow you're supposed to move them.
But can't the city, if you don't clean off your sidewalk, can't they? Oh yeah, definitely. Make you do it or tell you to or something?
That's why I'm just hoping they don't realize there's a sidewalk there.
What would their advice be though? What if you're like, I can't?
Like, I don't know. That's what I don't get. Like, if I really push that, like, what would it be?
Yeah,
I don't know. I did at one point last winter. It got really bad, and I just let it fill in.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was just like, "Oh, there's not a sidewalk there," because it never came up. So
you wouldn't know now that there is.
No, yeah, there's no way of knowing. One of those mysteries.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, there's a show that's really been blowing up in memes lately. Do you have a guess as to what the show is? All right, you're taking too long.
I don't know.
The Bird Box. Are you familiar with this at all?
I've never heard of that before.
Okay, I don't know if I've seen more memes about a show than this.
What is the show?
It's a movie on Netflix called Bird Box, and it's a Sandra Bullock movie. And it's like a horror movie. So it's I don't really follow the horror genre at all, but it's like I'm told it's like several other movies. I think there's one, A Quiet Place, with like John Krasinski from The Office, where when you can't like hear anything, or like if you hear something, like you can get something bad happens to you if you hear this certain thing.
Okay.
In this movie Bird Box, if you see the bad thing, you like want to commit suicide. So the whole thing with the movie is they go through, and this isn't spoiler. I mean, you find this out in like the first couple minutes of the movie, is that everyone's wearing blindfolds. Like you can't go anywhere without a blindfold on.
So you watched this?
I watched it because everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta watch it!" Like, and I see all these memes, and it's like getting hyped up, and like, okay, yeah, this seems to be cultural. Like, there seems to be some significance culturally to this thing, so I better watch it. So Leah and I sat down to watch it yesterday, and I genuinely felt ripped off. Like my time was stolen from me.
Did it suck or what?
I thought it was really bad. And so, if you're a person that enjoyed that movie, we have different tastes, I guess. Because I did not enjoy it. Like, Netflix has even said it's their most viewed movie in 7 days ever.
Is it a Netflix original?
It's a Netflix original, yeah.
Is it scary?
It's supposed to be like a thriller. I wouldn't use the word scary at all.
Okay.
I feel like I'd probably scare easy, and I would not use the words. I would not use the word scary to describe it.
Because I don't like scary movies.
No, I would not use the word scary to describe this.
Okay. But you wouldn't recommend to watch
I would
it
also
anyways.
I would also not recommend it to anyone. So
Why are the people making memes about it? And
well, I think it's because it's so dumb. Because like a lot of the memes I see, it's just like because she has a blindfold on in this whole movie basically when they're not in their house, and so it's just like when mom's like, "Did you do the dishes?" and it's like her with the blindfold on, or it's like the Ninja Turtles and then her with the blindfold on, just like all this dumb stuff. And I can't help but think like there has to be some like behind the scenes marketing going on where they're like they have to be paying people like bigger meme accounts like, hey, make memes about this because it goes so viral then, you know?
Yeah, right.
Like there's it's like that is a real thing, you know?
I mean it's they're influencers when you have 1 million followers, you have a lot of influence on people.
And you make a meme about it and all of a sudden like that's better than an ad that you'd pay for 30 seconds for on TV, you know?
Right.
And it's like your audience is like people with Netflix that like have time to watch this stuff and are engaged with these things. Like, yeah, it's the perfect plan.
I read somewhere to be considered a micro influencer, you have to have at least 10,000 followers.
Is that the rule, huh?
We are micro influencers.
So we're almost micro.
We're
and a quarter.
micro 0.5 influencers almost. Getting to be there.
Wow. Really moving up in the world.
Did you ever have micro machines when you were a kid?
You know, I had a couple, not many. I had some friends that had a lot.
I had the van.
I had a buddy that had the van like flipped out and there was a track and all that stuff. Yeah.
That is still around actually.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean it's beat to hell, but I bet if you have like a nice one of those,
I'm sure it's worth something. Yeah.
Wow. Micro machines were pretty fun.
So were they like in the world of car? I mean, there's Micro Machines and Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Definitely competitors, right?
I think so. I don't think they're the same.
Was there really any difference between them though?
Micro Machines were a lot smaller.
They were that much smaller.
Yeah.
I can't even
Micro
remember.
Machines were micro.
Oh. It's in the name. They were clearly not a Hot Wheel.
They're about this size. And I think Hot Wheels made by Mattel, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
And I don't know if Micro Machines are or not, but I'd guess they're not because they would be cannibalizing their old sales. I would think.
Yeah, it seems like it.
So that's 1990s toys. Have you ever seen the toys that built us on?
No,
the toys that made us.
I have.
That's a
Netflix,
good show.
Right?
Yes, that is good. Some of them are better than others.
Yeah.
It's like a 4-part series. I think there's 2 4-part. Like there's kind of like the first iteration and the second iteration, so there might be 8 episodes of it. Good show. I haven't watched that for quite a while, so I can't remember the different ones that are on there. But like G.I. Joe is an episode, Barbie's an episode, Star Wars is an episode. It's almost like a lot of them are just a little bit, just slightly too old for me.
Oh.
Where it's like G.I. Joe and Star Trek or Star Wars and stuff, and it's
like Star Wars. When I was a kid, I was all about that.
Yeah, but like when I Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like a really big toy when I was a kid, and it's just like almost I'm like 5 years beyond.
Just
like
missed the cut.
He-Man was one of them on there.
Yeah,
that's still slightly older than.
I remember growing up and being like He-Man, and like in my head thinking like this is really old.
Yeah, right. What I have been watching though, I watched a movie last night for the first time in a really long time, and I don't know if this. I do not have television, so I do not ever see ads for movies. So I do not know I never know any movie that is out
unless
has come
someone's
out
making some fire memes about it and it pops up in your feed.
And even then, as we can see, I don't know. But it was called like First Player Up, and I think it was a Steven Spielberg movie.
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. There you go.
Just so
Ready Player One.
So on the edge of being right.
So is that a popular movie? Was that was recently in the theaters?
Yeah,
or
I want to.
Ready
Was
Player
it a
One?
year ago? I mean, it's been in the last year for sure. The reason I know about it is because my old roommates were like video game freaks.
Yeah.
And they had read the book before anything, and then like them telling me about this book and how cool it was, and then like, oh yeah, it's gonna turn into a movie, and they were so jacked about it, and then. If it wasn't for them, I'm not sure I would have even really known much about it. Because
Did you watch it?
I haven't seen it yet. I do want to see it, but I haven't seen it much.
I thought it was good. I mean, I liked it. It was entertaining. I think it was kind of cool. There's a lot of references to older things that I like
just
and thought
pop
were cool.
culture in general,
and that was like a big theme of the movie. Is like, but this. Do you know what it's about?
I know what it's about.
Okay,
yeah.
Like this guy. It's the. Oasis is the
kind of the
virtual
world,
reality and where everyone lives in a majority of their time. It's and it's in the year like 2045. And the guy that created it, he's almost like I would draw a parallel to Steve Jobs is who this guy is like. He created it, and it was like his dying thing was he made this game within the within the game that if
Yep.
someone won it, they won. I don't know.
And it was kind of like these hidden keys
Yeah,
to it and everything.
Yeah, it was like I think they called it an Easter egg.
Yep.
Is the hidden thing within a game that you have to win. But it was really cool. I mostly liked all the old 80s, 90s references and stuff. So that was kind of cool. But what I watch all the time, I don't watch TV that often, but if I do have 30 minutes, what I usually will watch now is reruns of Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been circling.
I feel like I've seen all of those, but I also know that TV has a bad habit of playing the same ones over
I
and over.
bet you haven't seen them all.
Oh, I know
because
I haven't.
There's 10 seasons, and there's almost 30
Oh,
episodes.
there is. Whoa, I didn't know there was that
So
many.
there's
Okay.
probably 250 episodes.
Yeah. Ugh.
So I have
I for sure have not seen like the first season. I don't think I've seen any. Probably haven't really even seen the second or third.
Yeah.
I've probably just kind of seen that sweet spot in the middle is all.
I'm pretty addicted to that show. Like I don't watch it that often, but like when I'm watching it, I like
It just always blows your mind that like people make money doing that, huh?
Yeah.
Like there's so many times where people present an idea and I'm like, okay, is it like the 50,000 idea? And then they're like, $1 million valuation, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, like they almost laugh at them too, and they're like, what's your financials?
Yeah, it's like,
and
what do
they're
you have
like,
in
oh,
sales?
You're the real deal,
Yeah.
okay, and it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like Shark Tank? Or
I
not?
do
Yeah.
like it, and I think it should almost be at some point, like it should almost be mandatory viewing in everyone's life, just to kind of like see how like it kind of shows you that anything is really possible if you start to just put some effort into it and like get it out there and do the work. And then it shows, like anyone can really do it. You don't have to have like all these connections. Like it helps, but you don't have to have all these connections. You don't have to have 100 grand sitting in the bank to get anything going. But just like the negotiations alone, it makes you realize that anything is negotiable.
Yeah.
Like when you're talking stuff like it, like so many people, I think it's just you get used to just you want something, it costs this price.
Yep.
But there's not that. Like there's royalties involved, like just like percentage of ownership. Like there's a lot of different things, and then like it's not even like the way that they'll want 10% up to a certain time, and then maybe 5% later on.
There's
like,
a lot of different.
There's a
ways
lot
to
of ways you
structure the
can
deals.
and like you kind of don't really see that side of things unless
Yeah.
you're negotiating business deals, which I don't spend a lot of
Average
time doing.
person's not doing no.
So it is it does show you that side of the world.
Yeah, it's a cool show. Though one other thing I mentioned this over Snapchat is I started watching Vice. I've seen it before, a few of them here and there, but I've started. I think there's like 5 or 6 seasons of Vice.
Like Vice News or
No, not Vice News. It's I think it's just Vice.
Uh-huh.
Where it's like their 1 hour documentaries about North Korea or Afghanistan or children in the Philippines that smoke cigarettes and like these different things like that. And they're really, really good. Like the way that they're made and stuff.
They're
is
like
really
really
interesting.
raw.
Yeah, right. And also what the comment I made is it's like, man, there is so much messed up stuff
like
going on.
Oh god, yeah, everywhere. It's just I mean, I've been.
Do you like
Vice
news and Vice?
I've been like a fan of Vice in kind of weird way. I mean, like in some way or another for a while, and like there's a lot of people that say like, and you can like look more in depth on it, like from journalistic standpoints. Like some people say they get a lot of stuff wrong, and like I think they had a big ordeal. What was it, like 5 years ago or so? There was was it the Norton antivirus guy? Or the McAfee, one of them. The guy's like known for being like a computer hacker. Yeah. And he was like on the run from the law. Yeah. And somehow they tracked him down, and they were kind of doing like this expose on who he is. Yeah. And I guess they made like the big journalistic blunder where they took a photo, and pretty much any photo you take now has data in it that will expose like location for a lot of smart devices now and just other information. And the photo they took and posted, they didn't clean the data out, and so it gave away the guy's exact location, and like that was a big deal. And sometimes people be like, well, they're not very professional in how they handle things, but they also do like get in and show you like the side of the world that CNN isn't showing you. That's for sure.
No, they literally do stuff that. I mean, they go to North Korea.
It's like, is this legal? And how is anyone going to get out alive? Like, that's what you want to think when you watch a lot of it.
Right. When Dennis Rodman went to North Korea, they orchestrate, like that was a Vice.
Oh, it was through them?
Yes.
Really?
Like that, and it was Dennis Rodman and 3 Harlem Globetrotters because Kim Jong-un is
He's a big
big
basketball
basketball
fan.
fan.
Isn't
He was
Yeah.
a big Chicago Bulls fan of the '90s. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and they went like that was through Vice.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, and that was so they played a pickup basketball game with the Globetrotters. Dennis Rodman didn't play; he was watching, but the Globetrotters, and then like the best North Korean.
Oh, like team.
Yeah, whatever. Like they played, but they intermingled on the same team, and there was something. It was the first time North Korea played with something about an official sporting event. The first time that North Koreans played with like
Another country. Yeah.
Like ever.
Well, because they
And
made
it's
a big
kinda
deal
just-
about that in the Olympics this year, that they sent like 2 figure skaters, and it was like the first time anyone had emerged from North Korea for the Olympics, like in 60 years or something like that.
North Korea, if you don't know much about it, like I've watched a few documentaries on that.
It's just like a black hole as far as the world goes.
Well, it literally is. When they take a satellite image of it, there's no lights because
Yeah.
they don't have electricity.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Yeah, and then like the stuff that they're doing too. I mean,
Well,
the
like
whole-
everyone's starving, and
Yep.
it's crazy. It is actually legitimately crazy. What's going on there?
Yeah, it is. On a lighter topic though,
Yeah.
on Vice, on the actual TV.
Oh, and you said there was something
So
that you really liked.
I was gonna
and
say
wanted
like
to-
the ones that I like, and well, they do have actually a lot of people. If you're into strength sports, have probably seen this one. They have it's the Giants of Iceland.
Oh yeah,
That's a Vice documentary.
Yeah.
But Action Bronson has a cooking show. Fuck, that's delicious. It's really, really good. And I'm an Action Bronson fan, anyways. So that one's always a classic. I'm trying to think what the other one is. It's like It's not Ancient Aliens, but it's basically Action Bronson. They all sit in front of a green screen and smoke the whole time. There's crazy stuff going on. That one's just funny to watch.
It's not the guy from the History Channel that's like.
No, but they still are doing
Yeah.
kind of that same stuff. Like they're doing really dumb stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia. This is really weird, like nerdy, like super skinny guy, and he just goes and follows like usually it's like psychedelic drug stuff and follows people on these crazy adventures with whatever they're doing. Like the other day I saw one on, and I didn't know this was a real thing actually. It talks about like this toad in Mexico. Like I think South Park or someone has made jokes about like, yeah, you lick the toad and you get high or whatever. But this actual toad, they go in and they like squeeze pus out of the toad, and then you can like, I can't remember if they just take that directly or if it's a process that goes through. But basically, it's like there's DMT in there, which is like it's this trippy drug.
Yeah.
And like a psychedelic kind of, and people will then like smoke it, like vaporize it and smoke it, and just have these crazy experiences. And they're like showing these people smoking this thing with like this guy that's like leading them on the trip, like standing like some river canyon, and the people start passing out, like foaming, foaming at the mouth, like completely losing it. And you can tell this guy's like getting scared.
Yeah.
And then he does it, and like supposedly it was like this huge, profound experience. But it's always interesting to see those. They're really out there.
Yeah.
Though.
So is like Shane Smith on any of those, like in that stuff? You know, he's like the founder of Vice or
I
whatever.
don't think he's really around. I actually
Okay.
don't even know what he looks like. Do you
He's
know?
yeah, he's got like he's not that old. He's maybe in his 40s, but he's got like a gray. Yeah, there you go.
I don't
Gray
know
beard,
if I've ever seen
kind
this
of
guy
a little
before.
bit heavier.
I did listen to his. They had a. What's that show again? That podcast. How I Built This. They do have a How I Built This with him.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I
yeah.
did listen to that, but I never knew what he looked like. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah,
I mean, I know he's the Vice guy, but
Yeah.
I've never seen him before.
He's got a kind of an original, like a particular voice too. Like when he
Mm-hmm.
talks, is you can pick it out. Yeah, that's him.
Crazy. Okay, there's one other show I have to, because we're just talking about shows. There's
Yeah.
one other thing. I can never remember if you said, do you watch Black Mirror?
I've never seen it before.
Okay, Black Mirror
and that's on what, Netflix? Or-
and
okay.
that might be, like I've said, other shows are my favorite. Like I've always said, Breaking Bad
Yeah.
and like True Detective Season 1 are probably my 2 favorite shows of all time. Black Mirror might just take the cake for my favorite show of all time, because it's like this very real techno paranoia about what probably is going. I mean,
Yeah.
what will happen if worst case scenario
Yeah.
works out. But and then they're really like smart and ahead of things, and just like they're really good at just looking just ahead. But they did just come out with a new movie, and
a movie.
Well,
Or a new
show. Yeah,
okay.
all their episodes are. They're all their. There's no. You can start watching Black Mirror in any episode. They're not connected. They're all their own thing.
Gotcha.
So they just treat them all. They think of them all as like short films or movies.
Okay.
But
and they're like an hour long usually. Or?
yeah, right around an hour.
Yeah.
Some are a little less. Some are a little more. But
Gotcha.
they just came out with one, and it was really unique in the way that it is a choose your own ending style adventure.
So do you use the remote?
So you use the remote, and I thought, okay, you'll get like 4 choices. No, you probably make, depending on how you do it, 40 to 50 choices in this thing.
So
Like,
does it make you want to watch it more than once? Then
So,
once you get done, are you like?
I don't know. It took me a little over 2 hours to do it the first time. And I was like, that's probably enough, because I'm like, I'll just go online and Google like what the other
Yeah.
stuff is. And after I did that, I'm like, all right, I think I got a good enough idea that I don't need to spend like 2 or 3 more hours going through this thing over and
Watching
over
it,
again.
yeah.
But it is a really cool. It's a really cool way to consume media. Like
Yeah.
I guess from what I was reading, like Netflix does have like kids shows that do things like that.
That
But
would make
this,
sense.
but this is the first time they've done anything like this with this more of an adult
Yeah,
format.
right.
And it was really, really interesting. I would still prefer just to sit back and just watch and
Yeah.
let the movie go. But it's a different way of consuming. I would recommend someone that's looking for a fun experience, or you get some people together, like do
That's
it.
what would be
Make
fun
some-
to get with multiple
make some
people.
choices, and you can't really mess it up too bad, because I mean, if you get far enough and you kind of go on a dead end, they will kick you back to where you can make choices again. But even then, the choices might be different the next time, which it kind of keeps you on your toes, and it does a good
That is
job of kind of like making this whole like paranoia weird thing, and it kind of brings up the whole time the question of like free choice and free will and thought and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So I'd recommend that one to someone if they got some time on their hands.
I do keep meaning to try that. I haven't
Actually,
seen it
I
at
actually
all.
like it so much. I saw a book for it the other day. We were at Target, and I saw they had a hardcover book for Behind, like, I think it was called Behind Black Mirror. I'm like, I have to buy this. I like it too much. I have to do this. So
did you get it?
I did get it, and I read. I mean, they just talk about each episode, like
Yeah.
behind the scenes, and I got through. This was just yesterday, but I got through a
Yeah.
couple of them. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That choice thing reminds me of something. You know the infographics that have to do with lifting, where it'd be like, should you?
Yeah, it's like,
what would the example
It'd
be?
be like, should you max out today?
Yeah.
It's like, have you maxed out in the last week?
And then it goes to the different choices, and oftentimes it all leads.
It all
back
just
to
leads to the same thing. Like, yes, you should max out today.
But so that's a pure joke one. But I've also seen some of that are like a little more serious, like maybe telling you like whether you should pull sumo or whether you should pull conventional or
Yep.
something. Like, do you think those are necessary? Like that people.
Actually, we should be on the lookout. I think we should just make some memes of those. Like,
Should you buy a Massenomics yeah buddy shirt?
yeah, that's they're all so dumb.
Yeah. So is that kind of what it was like? And at the end of it, it was like, yes, you should max out.
Yes, that's really what it came
Yeah.
down to. Is you should max out. That's really what it came down to. Do we want to talk about some lifting product
Yeah,
here?
we could get into our. So what? As we were deciding what the topic of the day was going to be, we had a couple ideas, and we realized they're all kind of related around some lifting products that are out there for purchase. Maybe some newer products, some stuff we talked about before, but different things that have developed with that. So we decided the episode will be about lifting products today.
And we've already talked for 20 minutes. We have 25 minutes of ads in store today, so we'll get 5 to 10 minutes of product talk in here.
But we also, at the end, we have about 10 minutes of segments.
So
we really,
the
today's
feature-
topic of the day, we're not going to talk about.
So that's it. We're on to the next thing now. Well, I suppose we'll give it a little time here.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I thought was the Reebok Power Shoe.
Yeah.
The fabled, mysterious
Reebok TR Lights, TR.
CrossFit TR, whatever you want to call it. This thing, it does have kind of a legendary spot in the sport, I would say.
Yeah.
Like there was definitely a point in time where a lot of people had it.
Yeah.
We both own. I own a pair. You own multiple pairs.
Yeah,
You've only worn one, but you own
new in box pair, which is worth a good amount that I could sell on eBay, but it is worth more to me to keep.
Yes,
than it is
if
to-
I were you, I would do the
Yeah,
same. Like
yeah.
I kind of wish I didn't do this. I kind of wish I would have done the same thing and
Yeah.
bought two, like you did.
I wish I would have bought 1,000 of them because
they were
I
like-
bought them for $30 a
Yeah,
pair.
it's like that's like a disposable shoe at that point, you know.
And you can sell them now for a lot more than that.
Yeah. And at the rate it's going, no one's going to be making a good lifting shoe or just a good flat wide shoe
Right.
anytime soon. Like that
Right.
seems to be impossible to do. So, but anyway, so with the shoe though, it's always been rumored that it's coming back. It's coming back. And in fact, we have talked to Jesse Burdick at the Arnold 2 years in a row.
Not once, but twice.
And he's told us very soon, very soon. We're getting dangerously close to the third year here, and it's still like not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's signs of it on the horizon.
It was fun. We're looking forward to actually running into him at the Arnold.
That
again.
will be one of
Yeah.
my highlights is to
Yeah.
see Jesse Burdick and be like, "So we got a question for you," and for him to be like, "No, guys, no." Like
he's gonna be like, "Get the hell out of
Yeah.
here!" Because this last year he knew
he said, "Yep, I knew you were gonna ask that." Yeah. So at this point, it will just be the joke for the rest of our lives. But,
right.
So they did a really limited release. Was this like this past summer? Like
Yeah,
Mark Bell had
so-
them for sale on his website for like $170 or something.
Yeah.
Like
of
okay,
this one color
yeah,
scheme.
that I mean, they didn't really look good.
They're like
And
zebra black.
Yeah, and on top of that, they're the CrossFit Reebok TR Lights. Like
Yeah.
they're not a pair of Jordans or anything like really stylish that you're gonna wear. Or
Right.
people are gonna want that bad. But it's Mark Bell and he can hype things up, and he
Yeah.
sold them in no time. You know,
Yeah.
he probably only had like 10 pairs of each or whatever. But
Right.
But yeah, he made some good money off of those, I would say. And then it was like, yep, more coming. And you'd see pictures of them. Well, then, just the other day, I see Brandon Campbell post a photo, and it was like, what was it? Something versus our reality versus expectations.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was the one he ordered, which is a tolerable shoe. It was mostly black, and then it had like a gum sole.
Yeah.
And it was pretty unoffensive, I would say.
Right.
Which I think most people is what they're looking for in a lifting shoe.
Right.
And the one he got had the really nasty, I think Reebok calls it their nano weave. And
I
that's
don't
that that's
the
that like
look-
zebra
yeah,
pattern.
and I don't
so it
like
had it was
that.
black with the Reebok nano weave down the side, which looks like white vertical stripes on a gum sole, which is completely different than what he had got.
Yeah.
And reading the post, it sounded like Reebok didn't even know what was going on with that. So
yeah,
I think
like he called customer service and stuff, and they had literally no he
Yeah.
didn't even know what he.
they
They
probably
didn't even
don't
know what he was
shoe,
talking
Yeah,
about.
they probably don't know what the shoe is.
No,
Like,
they
it's-
didn't. Like
yeah.
you could tell by the way he was talking that they were what they said, and they had no idea whatsoever. And I think he just ended up keeping them. Then he just said, "Well,
I would assume, but didn't he pay like $100 or something like that
I
for
think
120?
I think they were 100 maybe. But they literally did not. It would be like if you ordered a car in blue."
Or no, it'd be like if you ordered a black car and it came with pinstriping
Right.
on the entire thing.
Right,
Like,
and you'd be like,
this is definitely not what I ordered.
Well, that's he literally. You can put the two pictures next to each other, and anyone, if you're not blind, could tell that there's something off there.
yeah. So feel bad for him.
Yeah.
And feel bad that Reebok can't get it figured out. Because,
They really do not have it
like,
figured
just
out.
make a plain shoe. Like people don't want anything crazy on. Just make them like
Yeah.
I thought the version 2s looked way better because they
Yeah.
were plain. Like
Yes.
the version 1s tried to do this crazy thing with the letters, and with those ones, the ones that looked the best were the ones that made the letters disappear
Yeah,
because they're all
where it
one
was
solid color.
Yes, exactly.
And with the second version, they figured that out, made it super plain, and then they thought they needed to like add some crazy
Yeah.
patterns, and that kind of killed it again.
'Cause
But
I think yours are the second ones.
Yep,
or-
the
and,
version twos.
and I think the ones that I have in the box
yeah,
are the
you have,
same
you have
color
the dark
scheme.
gray.
Or
You have the dark gray, I think, because I
Okay.
had the like it's almost white. It's
Yeah.
super light gray.
right, and mine's
and-
a little bit darker.
Yeah,
than
because
that,
didn't
maybe or something.
Ross get the dark gray ones too?
I think we have the same color. Him and I have this because we did.
Yeah.
We could get them even cheaper. We got them down to like $28 a piece, a pair if we ordered them together. So, but they don't have that figured out yet.
No. Well, I mean, they're only one of the bigger shoe companies in the world, so they're still figuring
that's
out
just
the.
like- At this point, Adidas or Nike needs to take that and
Well,
make their
but
own.
here's the thing
but
is,
there's just
Adidas,
so few.
Adidas owns Reebok.
Oh, yeah,
Like so,
yeah.
I don't get. I mean, I
Yeah.
just don't get why one of them hasn't just made a shoe. Like
Yeah.
for Nike, it's no big deal to just make any shoe in the world. Like, why don't
Right.
they just do it?
But maybe the market is so tiny, even though it's like to us, we think a lot of lifters want it. Maybe it's just.
But I also think like,
minuscule.
what's the market for like discus shoes?
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
do they sell 10,000 pairs of discus shoes? You know,
there'd have to
or
be
like
a bigger
shot put shoes?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
they make 'em,
maybe the
Nike
best
and-
of the best high schoolers get them, and then like your like your collegiate
Yeah.
athletes probably do. But
I had a pair of Asics discus shoes.
Did you?
Yeah, spin shoes.
would you say that's the
That
if you
was-
had Adidas or Nikes, would it have put you over the?
The Nike ones that they had at the time were pretty sweet.
Yeah.
but they were considerably more expensive, so I did not go with it as a high schooler.
Yeah.
When I was a little bit more price conscious. When I
Well, because now price doesn't matter to you at all, right? You just buy
no,
anything.
also still not true, but yeah, probably the Asics didn't have probably the coolest look to them.
Yeah. It's track
But
shoes, though, you know.
Discus shoes in general don't have the coolest look to them. So
I think you got a point there.
yeah. But lifting shoes in general, like talking about the color scheme thing, I wish, and this goes for, I'm probably more so talking about lifters now because that's what there's more of.
When you say lifters, you're talking about raised heel shoes.
Yeah, raised heel shoes. They should keep the color schemes simpler and more normal.
Yeah.
Like, just make like some white shoes, some black shoes.
And then a couple
like,
colors.
yeah.
And when we say a couple colors, like, don't make a couple that have 10 colors. Like,
Make like a red pair.
yeah, like the closest to anyone that I think that anyone got to
blue-
figuring it out was like the Romeo 2s.
Yes,
Like those
yeah.
were like, they just made a lot of colors. For the most part, they were all pretty plain, like
Yeah.
not a lot. But there was a lot of options to pick from.
Yeah.
And like we've seen a lot of the options, you know,
Yeah.
because we've known a lot of people that have had them. The Addy Powers or whatever, like those, the ones that I have,
The
when
white
I was
ones are
looking, there
good.
was white and there was black with red. They only
Yeah.
had two options.
Yeah.
They used to have that weird off-red kind of tomato-y
Yeah.
color, which I actually thought was kind of cool,
Yeah.
but it wasn't available when I was looking. So when I was looking, there was two colors. And then as time went on, over the years, they introduced like an all-black one.
Mm-hmm.
They did, we'll get into your color in a second here, but like they maybe had, I don't know, was there 8 colors over the life of that entire shoe?
Yeah,
Like there wasn't
probably
many.
tops,
They didn't
yeah.
do it, and I guess, yeah, they're probably not selling many of them, but they just didn't do a lot. But now,
Yeah.
we were talking about this, and you said that you finally jumped on the bandwagon here with these things, huh?
Yeah, I ordered a pair of Addy Powers. Very hard to find though. Very hard to
and
find.
I did not know this until you were
Yeah.
saying it, that they don't really make them anymore.
No, I don't think they do make them anymore. So where you go to buy them. So like if you want to get the white ones that you have, the white with like they have like a little bit of gray or black on them, striping or something. Those ones, unless you're I don't know a size 5 or a size 19,
yeah, we were
you
just
can't
looking.
get
yeah.
those. I'd really like those all black ones. Those don't exist at all that I could see.
And I
unless
think
you're
those
size
were a pretty
16
small
plus.
release because
Yeah.
that was kind of more towards the end here.
But
anyways.
why? Like that would be a pop. Don't a lot of people would like?
You would like, and this is why I know lifting shoes are getting bigger. I don't think 5 years ago you would have found a pair of lifting shoes in an East Bay ever.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I get East Bay magazines. I didn't think I bought anything from them in like 10 years. For some reason, I do get them.
Or why they
And-
still send out
or
magazines.
why they still send out a print magazine. Like that's the other crazy thing.
Their business model kind of got like.
They seem to be. Oh, I'm pretty sure like Foot Locker. I think East Bay Foot Locker and Champs are all the same company because if you look
They're
at
like-
shoes for any one of them,
Yeah.
it's the same across them all.
They're
And
like all of our business models are failing. Can we put them all together and figure out one that's one that can
Well,
compete with Amazon?
just waiting on that next Jordan release to keep sales going. But I've actually, it's not uncommon now. Pretty much every time I get an East Bay, I do look through it more
Yeah.
for like design things than anything.
Yeah.
But they have lifters in it almost every issue now,
Yeah.
which seems really, really bizarre to me. Like even a few years ago, that would have been strange.
Yeah.
And so they must sell enough of them, and the fact that they're also, like $150 to $200 shoe, it's probably a pretty high margin item for them too, I would assume.
Right. The color that I ended up getting, because it was one of 2 colors that I could find in my size. One color option was like white with mint, and I did not like it at all. Like I
don't see you in that
even
color.
for the functionality. Like I wouldn't wear it because it just really didn't look good. The other one wasn't my favorite, but I could make it work. And you saw it. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah,
but
what
it
did
has
they-
a gum sole, and to me, it's like almost like an army green gray or something.
Yeah,
With
what's the official name for
Yeah.
this color here? They call it. Well, they're not going to tell us there. We'll try one more here.
You wouldn't want to put the color on the product info like that.
Yeah, you don't want it to just be out there. Trace Cargo
Okay.
is what they call it.
And it's not bad
It
looking.
is
but
actually
it's-
there is like a green part to it there,
Yeah,
not it? I didn't even
yeah.
notice that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty unoffensive, I would say.
Right. And
They don't really stand out for any reason, good or bad.
right. But Addy Powers are hard to find, super hard to find, and Nike Romaleo 2s, which I was also interested in. also very hard to find in normal people sizes because Nike makes the 3 now.
Yep.
But
That's been around a little while.
Yeah, but from the research I found, a lot of people like the 2 better, and the 2 better than the 3.
Yep. And the 2 has 2 straps, whereas the 3 only has
the one mid-foot strap. And I think the 3s look really cool.
They do. They look like really futuristic.
Yeah, I like the way they look, but as I was doing my homework on it, a lot of people the heel is different than how they made the 2. You can just see even by looking at it, it's different. And at the end of the day, it probably doesn't make that much of a difference, of course.
Whoa. No,
It's not.
We're talking pounds on the PR here.
And I don't even know if we are talking that, but just from
kilos on the PR.
And actually, just from a durability standpoint, a lot of people said the 3s are not as durable as the 2s were. So that was kind of like well, if I'm spending $100 to $200 on a pair of shoes, I kind of want them to last for a really long time.
Yep. Yeah, my white Addy Powers, like with the exception of wearing them enough, like that they got kind of sweaty, and so certain parts of them, like the mesh, has kind of gotten almost like sweat stained. I mean, the shoe itself is completely fine.
And
and I actually only wear them on like bench days. Anyways, at this point, like I kind of quit wearing them for squatting.
But your Reebok TR Lights, they've held up.
Yeah, they've actually held up. And
mine
the same thing.
Seem like brand new still.
Yeah,
too.
And I only wear them in the gym. Like they've never been outside the gym.
Right.
And if you do that with shoes, I don't get how they would get destroyed wearing them just in the gym.
No.
And I'm not like cutting like. I'm not playing a basketball game and cutting in them and like stopping and going.
Yeah.
So I mean they're pretty, but I have noticed though the sole on them, and I think this is good. It was pretty thin in the first place, but now just wearing them enough. I mean the sole is so thin, like the tiniest little pebble in the gym. I can feel it through the sole on those shoes. Like there's nothing to them.
Yeah.
So at this point it really is like I'm wearing a slipper with
well,
this upper
kinda,
on it, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that.
But I think Nike has it figured out on the color scheme. If you look at some of those shoes they have, they have some cool, really.
They all look. The shoe itself looks really cool.
Yeah. But what is with the neon color in lifting shoes?
Well, that's just like Nike in general, though.
Okay.
Like that's kind of their what are they? Volt. Yeah, they call it Volt,
Okay.
and that's just. I mean, they just kind of have that in everything.
Yeah. But even that one looks pretty good.
It actually does. The Volt in black look pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, does Shane still have the all Volt?
He sold those to someone else.
Oh, he did.
Because I had the opportunity to buy those from him, and I should have. Yeah. And it just takes me months and months to pull the trigger on anything that costs more than $20.
Oh, I know what you mean. I actually was having this dilemma with my wife tonight with plane tickets, and I was like, you know what? We've gotten bit before. Just buy the frickin' tickets, and we'll figure out the rest later. Like, do it now.
Is there? Are you releasing where you're going?
I have to go to Florida for a wedding in April, so it's not. Right. I mean, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's Florida, I guess, and not. I mean, you could fly up here in the wintertime. That'd be terrible. So yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But the big thing there is we're flying out of town locally, and it's cheaper than cheaper than driving, which for us is huge.
Oh.
You know, it's not too often we can fly out of our hometown.
No, right.
And then the fact that we don't pay for parking or any of that stuff.
That's really nice flying out of here.
That's a big win, yeah.
Because normally we drive 5 hours to get on a plane.
Oh, yeah, 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
You don't drive less than 3 hours to get on a plane.
Right.
And then at that point, you spend a whole day in a car. And the last thing is, like when we went to Hawaii, the last thing you want to do after you've been on a plane for 12 hours is drive 5 more hours.
The getting back is the worst.
But somehow we do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, when you get the chance to fly locally, it's really nice.
Yes. So that's kind of our lifting shoe discussion. Is there any other? I was gonna say Reebok on the lifters have a lot of ridiculous colors.
Yeah,
like
they have like the
gold
legacy lifter.
Yeah,
and
I don't want like bright gold.
Yeah, I'm not setting the gold standard here. Like, I'm just kind of over Reebok as a company. They just kind of piss me off with how they you can't figure out like the one shoe that I would really ever want from them. But yeah, I mean, it just doesn't do it for me. It's not good enough for me. I mean, if you really want to get into the finer details, Tyler did have a pretty exotic collection of lifters. He had
some other brands outside
I think it was Position was the one that he always freaked out about. He had the blue suede Position ones with the wood sole.
Heels, yeah.
He had those, which that is a pretty crazy shoe. Yeah. And didn't he also had a pair of Romeo 2s.
Yeah.
He had the black and red ones. They're all black with the red swoosh.
Oh yeah.
The
Yep.
red swoosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Larry has the red ones with the black swoosh on
Yep.
them.
Yep.
Tyler had the black with the red. Megan had the orange ones.
Yeah.
And I want to say
Shane
he got
had the neon yellow
yeah, Shane
ones.
got the which
Chuck has
the black
fucking
ones
red
with the
ones.
red.
Yeah. We're just naming our gym members of what
yeah.
color shoes they
Doesn't Big Jason have a
Yeah,
pair?
he's got black, the all black
black?
with the white outlined logo.
Yeah.
Which I was
Those are-
interested
those
in that
are nice,
color.
yeah.
That fits my criteria too. But
I think that's what everyone that has a pair of those in the gym.
yeah,
You could talk to Brandon and see if you get his black and red ones from
yeah,
him.
I.
But he
even
probably only wears a size like
black and red are like the colors that I like in things, but that black and red color
it's not
scheme,
the best.
I don't really like
Yeah.
it. That the way that it is, I don't
Yeah.
really like.
I wasn't a fan.
I mean,
of
I'm
how-
not hating them, but I just don't. If I'm picking, I don't really
like
like
black
the,
and red's one that's really hard to get wrong. And
Yeah.
so, like, I
Yeah.
kind of feel like they didn't get it right.
Right,
I'm not gonna say they completely got it wrong, but they didn't get it
I
right.
agree.
Okay, enough shoe talk for now.
Yeah.
The other thing one thing I think this is a big win for like people that are
Let's move it up the body.
yeah, we'll move slightly up the body, more to your midsection.
Yeah, north
if,
of the
if you want
border.
to follow us that far. Pioneer, belt maker extraordinaire.
I've heard of them.
You know, everyone loves Pioneer, a Pioneer belt. If anyone could make a complaint about Pioneer, it's probably that when you order your belt that you want so bad, you're going to be waiting 4 to 6
5,
weeks,
6 weeks, yeah.
maybe more, depending on what time of year.
Yep.
You know, as a businessman, it's a great problem to have. People
And that's
lined
probably
up out
really
the
the
door.
only complaint.
Yeah,
in
I
the
think that
draft.
is about the only. I mean, if you really, really wanted to complain, you could say they're not IPF approved, but I think you kind of know what you're getting into at this point.
Right.
But in order to solve this problem, they've actually came up with 2 solutions here, and they've made like an in stock, ready to go belt, and it looks really good.
I really like that belt.
I do really like it. Like the typeface they use in the back looks awesome. Like it's got like a
I
classy,
really like
mean look to it.
The leather.
It's like
look.
embossed in the leather.
Yeah.
Like it looks good, and it's ready to go, which is another. I mean, that's the huge win. But then on top of that, it's only $79.99.
Yeah.
Like
$80 for a really nice
Yeah,
belt.
to me, that's
and it's
like
the
a-
Pioneer cut.
yeah, it's a Pioneer cut, and it's a 10 millimeter,
Yeah.
which I really like. The ones that I've used that I like the most are their 10 millimeter ones. Like I
Yep.
love their 10 millimeter belts.
Yep.
And then Pioneer cut, single prong. You know, you get those extra spacing. Like that's a good belt for $79.
What part of me wants to do is
Get one for the gym?
Well, not get one for the gym. Get like 3 for the gym of 3 different sizes. You know, so there would kind of be one that would fit anyone.
But everyone in the gym is just big, so we only need one size. I think.
That's true. I'll just get one.
Actually, what would happen
3XL.
is there'd be the one size that would get used 90% of the time,
Yeah.
the other one that would get used 9% of the time, and the one that would get used 1% of
Yes,
the time. Like,
that is
one of them
true.
would look brand new
Yeah.
like forever.
Yeah.
But I do think if you did get like one that fits about the
30 to 38 inch.
oh yeah,
waist
like
or
the
whatever.
200 to the 260ish pound guys, I think that one would get used heavily.
Yeah, and for only $80,
It's like you almost can't afford to not get
yeah.
one. So yeah, I do. If people missed that, didn't see that in there, I mean that is like the deal.
Yeah, we're obvious. If you've listened to us long enough, you know that we're obviously Pioneer fans, and we've did a big interview with Matt back in the day. But all that aside, this is just a really good deal for a really cool belt, and I want one of them. You know, like.
Yeah, the other ways, if you do really want a Pioneer belt and for some reason you don't like the brown leather, there are other ways to get around it too, because they also do the A7 belts.
Oh yeah.
They make those, which are IPF approved, but they're branded as A7s,
Yeah.
so they get around with it. So those are probably, I'm sure, at some place in stock.
Yeah.
You can get those.
There's
and then,
others. Elite FTS is Pioneer belts.
yep, and I think all the Rogue branded belts are the Rogue brand. There are Rogue branded belts that are Pioneer. It says on the website. I believe that it actually says this is a Pioneer belt.
Okay. That's cool. I didn't know that.
I've seen him make comments about it in the past, so I'm assuming.
That
That looks exactly like one of their belts.
Yeah.
Let's see if they actually say that it's Pioneer. It doesn't say there, but I mean, it looks exactly like one of their belts.
But I would, I'd rather. I mean, this is just a personal thing, but I'd much rather rep the belt that says Pioneer on the back.
Oh
than
yeah,
the one that
I would
says
too. Then Rogue, yeah.
Rogue is almost like a faceless
It's becoming that. It really is.
company.
And then on top of that, I'd rather just give my support to Pioneer anyways
Yeah,
than Rogue.
exactly.
Like I don't think Rogue's hurting in the money department by any means.
No.
You know, did we ever talk about?
Oh,
This kinda went
there's
under
a Pioneer cut belt right there.
Oh yeah. I don't think we ever talked about this, and they kind of, to me, brushed this under the radar, like brushed this under the rug and pretend it went away. But Rogue kind of got into a little bit, caught a little heat online for their whole. They tried to kind of, or they did trademark the word strongman, did they?
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem possible.
And I don't understand the exact, the legal details behind it and what they didn't do. But I know after the fact, what's his name? The guy that owns Rogue.
Yeah, I can't think of it now either.
I follow him on Instagram. I know, but
It's not Dave, is it?
I can't remember. Bill Henninger.
It's just a regular guy's name.
Bill. They kind of sounded like they backtracked a little bit
I
after
think
it
they
was said
did.
and done. Yeah.
If people don't know what we're talking about, basically Rogue trademarked the word strongman. Don't know how that ever passed, but they trademarked the word strongman to the point that I believe the initial like trademark papers or filing made it sound like anyone that sold anything with the word strongman in the title would be infringing on their trademark, which obviously takes a cut at a huge chunk of the market,
Right.
and being that strongman is an actual sport.
Right.
So now, anything that's strongman belt, strongman sleeves, strongman stones,
Sandbags.
strongman sandbags, I
Yeah.
think that's where this kind of
That's-
the whole
yeah.
thing started. And so people were freaking out about it. And he kind of backtracked and said like, oh, no, like the legal department went way too wide on this. Like, I didn't mean it to be this broad. Like it really was just to protect like things that we have patents on or like designs that we've made, like sandbags.
The sandbag, because at the World's Strongest Man, not the big World's Strongest Man, but like the one for all the other weight classes for men and women this year, there was what we've seen at the Arnold
That kind of
the
weight
last
over
couple
bar.
years, yeah, with the sandbags, the one that Mark Henry was
Just hyping up to be the next fitness revolution.
yeah, which I guess is starting to be made by other people now. But Cerberus,
Yes,
I don't
Cerberus.
yeah, I still
Not
don't
up
know
on
how
your
you say
Greek
it.
mythology.
No. They made one that looks very similar to that, and I think that's part of where this stems from, is that they kind of were.
And I get it. Like, I'm sure they're probably going through the same thing with Titan. Like, oh, we make something, and then
Yeah.
Titan comes along and does it. And
But then everyone says, well, what's that company that like Brandon Lilly and Matt Vincent, that equipment manufacturer, that a lot of people say that Rogue steal.
I'm sure there's some of it all going around.
Sorinex.
Oh, yes,
Sorinex.
yeah, yep.
And a lot of people say that, well, Rogue's just stealing what they're doing, and
I can't imagine
there's
there's one person in this whole thing that can say that they've never ever looked
Right.
at anyone else's design and felt inspired or done something
Right.
else. And if you did say that, I'd say you're an idiot. Like,
right. Sorinex and the Fat Bells that's. The company
Donnie
that-
Thompson,
yeah.
they went through a whole thing with that, and then I think still kind of are going through a thing with
Yeah.
that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, everyone rips everyone else off, and so then to take the stance of saying that, well, we just own all of it now is a little bold.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, ever since then, things have been pretty quiet. I haven't seen much happen on that side of things. The last piece to cover here.
Yeah.
And you had to bring this to my attention. I was like shocked here. Actually, I think we were both shocked when we looked. I'll be the first to admit, I don't keep super close tabs on Mark Bell anymore.
Uh-huh.
He makes some power moves here with his IPF approval and all that. And I
Yeah.
just know he has stuff coming out. But you're like, have you looked at how many reps Mark Bell has lately? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And so we went to the website. And once we got on the website, that's markbellslingshot.com. I clicked on the straps, wraps, and support tab. And there was 10 of them. I was like, maybe that sounds right. But here's reading through. This is the wrist strap lineup. Gangster Flex wrist straps.
That's one.
Gangster wrist wraps.
That's two.
Power wrist wraps.
That's three.
Stretchy wrist wraps.
That's four.
Slingshot wrist wraps.
That's five.
Strong wrist wraps.
That's six.
And
Then
that's it for the wrist wraps.
But
But
that's
then there's
six.
basically that exact same thing for knee
Yeah,
wraps too.
Right.
But yeah, is there a reason for the world to have six? different wrist wraps from one company. Like, I mean, to me, even like multiple sizes almost seems kind of dumb.
Yeah,
like, it's
right.
just like, well, whatever. But I don't even get it. Like, it's so weird. Like, either you have the wrap on and it's either tight or it's not tight.
Yeah.
And it's either doing its thing or it's not doing its
Yeah.
thing, right? I guess he hasn't sent me a box of wraps, so I don't know the finer points of all of them, but it seems insane, like, when you read them out loud.
Yeah. And I don't think any of his are this way, like the one I'm going to describe, but someone at the gym had a pair of Pioneer ones that were, you and I both have a pair of gangster wraps that are many years old, 4 or 5 years old. And you know what those are like. They're kind of softer.
Yep. They almost look like a mesh on the outside.
Yeah. Well, someone at the gym had a pair of super aggressive Pioneer ones. Ross actually has them now. He bought them for someone else because they didn't like them. And they do not feel like gangster wraps or any of these other
they're
ones.
So stiff.
They are insanely stiff.
Do you know, are they like the Phantom ones, or are they
that
like
might
black
be what
and
they're
silver?
black and yes, they are black and silver.
I don't know if that's the Phantoms, but
yeah, whatever those are called, and those are a different product.
Yeah.
So I can see
it is
that
like
those,
really like canvas wrapped around your.
And I mean, it gets to the point where it feels like you could use it as a tourniquet to like make your hand fall off if you wanted to. So I do understand that is a different product than these.
And
so that's
Chuck,
different.
Chuck has the strong wrist wraps.
Okay.
And they're
I don't know how
they're
about-
way more along the lines of that, like super stiff.
Okay.
But even that, I wouldn't be surprised if those Pioneer ones are just stiffer anyways.
Yeah, they're very stiff, like the stiffest that you could have a wrist wrap, I believe. But I don't know when you crank any of them down. They kind of have.
Is there any advantage to it? Like, I guess maybe if you bench over 700, like maybe you might notice.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've benched almost 500.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like your wrist wrap was the limiting factor?
No, I don't think anyone that. I mean, Julius Maddox benches 700 without a wrist wrap on. So like it's But I guess the thing is there a need for 6 different ones? But the other thing is, people are buying them.
Yeah.
So I guess his answer would be yes, there is, because people are buying 6 different ones, and that sounds great for me. Or like.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it can be.
Yeah.
Is that just. Oh, my wrist wrap is getting kind of old. Well, he does have a new one. It is probably a good time to buy one. Oh, there's definitely the people that, Mark Bell made it. Yeah, I'll buy it right now.
Right.
But that is pretty crazy. And then even just to show like how it feels like the whole line is getting diluted. I mean, you can look at the hip circle. Like to me, that's a product that
pretty similar.
They're pretty similar. Like if you want it tighter, don't you just buy a smaller size if you want more resistance. But if I can even find it again now. The whole
what the category was.
Yeah, okay, the hip circle. There's the hip circle, the grippy hip circle, the hip circle 2.0, the big ass hip circle, and if you're not sure, there's the hip circle sport pack.
Oh.
And I'm guessing there's multiple sizes for every one of these, right?
I'm sure.
There's multiple colors, multiple sizes.
That's a lot of inventory of
50-cent pieces of canvas from China. So that's great. Like he just has a lot. He has a lot of. I mean, really, we can't really talk because we do the same thing a lot. But I mean, for selling slingshots, hip circles, sleeves, and wraps, you think like, well, if there was 3 of those each, that's 12 products. But he is so far past that.
Yeah.
Like sleeves alone, he has not 9 sleeves. And that's general style.
Just
then,
knee
then when you get
sleeves,
into I didn't even know some of these existed. So I knew about the strong knee sleeves. There's the grippy X knee sleeve, the extreme X knee sleeve, the slingshot 2.0 knee sleeve, the sport knee sleeve. I never even heard of that one.
And that's just one that you can just kind of wear around for. I've heard heard it on this. Like you just not necessarily squatting. It's just like give you a little bit of warmth, not as much support as the other ones. Like you just wear it for like a CrossFit workout or
I guess whatever you got to do. There's the MB3 USA strong sleeve, and then the elbow. I'm actually amazed he doesn't have like 10 different kinds of elbow sleeves because I only see the strong elbow sleeves and the sport elbow sleeves, and the MB3 elbow sleeve. But man,
it's a lot of options.
I feel educated now.
Yeah,
a lot of gear.
Yep.
Keep you going. That's what it takes to keep you in one piece these days.
I have thought about getting my wrist straps. The thumb loop is kind of broken on. Broken on.
Well,
one of them.
yours are ancient.
Yeah.
Like you've pretty much had those ever since I've known you.
They've probably. We're in 2019 now. I would think I had them in 2014.
I would think.
And so that I would guess I have about 5 years in them, but still, then I'm like. Yeah, I can make them work. And then I'm like,
tighten them down.
What would a
harder.
newer pair do better? It would look nicer.
I mean, they're gonna smell the same after about a month, anyways.
I could get a black pair and get rid of this blue pair because it was the only color that was made at the time. And I'd probably get a pair from Pioneer or something. But but then I'm like, yeah, these are fine.
Yeah, it's kind of what it comes down to. That's kind of where I'm at with lifting gear too.
Yes.
Well, these are the same. It's not really gonna help me, so whatever.
Yeah.
Do we got some other features here?
Yeah, we got our. We should talk about the Open Powerlifting Stat of the Week. I think.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah, we're back on the Open Powerlifting Stat of the Week. Do you know what this week's stat is? Have you seen it?
I have not.
Okay, you're in for a surprise then. On this week's Open Powerlifting Stat of the Week on the Massenomics podcast, we have the current number one for the 5-year-old to 12-year-old age division.
What?
Yeah. So that would be the youngest age division, 5 to 12 years old, and this is for the men, and it's sorted by total. So the number one is Jewel, or wait, am I male or female? Okay, this is male. His name is Jewel Dolce the third. He totaled 980 pounds at the age of 12.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, body weight of 182.
Oh, so he's a big boy though.
Yeah,
that's
for
a big 12-year-old. Yeah.
He squatted 365. Pretty good.
Yeah.
For 12 years old.
Yes.
Benched 215.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And deadlifted 400 pounds.
Okay, 12 years old. That like 6th grade?
I think so, something like that. Yeah.
Dang. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that is.
I was expecting those numbers to be like way lower than that.
Yeah. And this was raw, no wraps. And the federation was WNPF. Not sure what that is, but.
So he's definitely not natty then.
I don't even know if
numbers like
puberty.
that in an untested federation. Yeah. Oh man.
And then the flip side is on the female side, 5 to 12-year-old age division. The current number one is. These names. Kenyan Kuntz, who totaled 735 pounds at the age of 12. So no surprise that both of them are at the
that makes
top
sense.
of
That's
the
right.
age. Body weight of 196 pounds. She squatted 275, benched 140, and deadlifted 320 pounds. So a 12-year-old girl deadlifted more than 3 plates.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that anyone 12 could, I just assumed 12-year-olds couldn't do that at all.
And that was in the SPF.
Wow.
That 12-year-old boy that just like these numbers squatting.
Do they have the year on that? Like, is that recent or?
It doesn't have the year.
Well, you know what? We can just look him up. I'm curious if he's gone on to have more meets.
Yeah. If it wasn't
what is his name?
Jule is his first name, Jewel, and Dolci.
The third. Here we go. No, that meet was from this.
Okay, so that's
that's his only meet at age 12.
So we're potentially looking at the future Ray Williams.
Yeah,
squatting 365 is pretty impressive because.
It is.
I'm not sure how old I was the first time I squatted that much. But I see a lot of people that lift for a long time that don't squat that much.
Yeah, most people don't squat that much.
Benching nearly 2 plates, and then deadlifting 400 pounds. I've seen a lot of grown men that work at it for a long time that cannot deadlift 400 pounds.
Dang. Shocking.
Yeah. That's the Open Powerlifting Stat of the Week on the Massenomics podcast.
Yeah.
Provided by the team at Open Powerlifting. Open Powerlifting, you can support them though in a number of ways. I see they do offer shipping worldwide now.
Yeah.
So if you're one of our foreign podcast listeners, you could be purchasing yourself an Open Powerlifting shirt I'm still trying to get myself one of those.
It's just hasn't quite
kept
made.
up on that. What other ways do they have?
They have a Patreon account. You can go on, hook them up there. Very modest amounts. I mean, either $1 or $3 a month, and they kind of let you do some cool things. Pimp out your name, get some colors going, all that.
Teaser here. I don't know what exactly the stat's going to be, but one of the future stats is going to be. This was an idea from Tristan over at Open Powerlifting. He wanted to all the Massenomics gym members. He's going to verify make sure everything was accurate, and then he was going to put together some stats.
Okay, he was asking about it. I didn't know for sure what was going on.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking for sure, but I thought that was a really cool idea.
Just to see how superior Larry is to everyone else at the gym. Needs to see it in writing.
Just see how little progress we've all made over the years.
That's actually what we all had 1 or 2 good years, and man, things really leveled off in a hurry. That's life.
That's lifting naturally.
Yeah. When it goes good, it lasts for just a little bit.
With moderate genetics, with moderate potential at best.
That sums it up.
Yeah. So thanks, Open Powerlifting team. Now, we've got a few other segments here. I do want to see I can't even myself remember right now if we had a big lifts. If I had anything in there for big lifts or not.
Well, couldn't have been that big if we don't see it.
Oh, the one thing I do know what I've had in there now that this was actually not from this week. It was the week prior, but I forgot we didn't talk about. Did you see Vlad squatted 525 kilos?
Yeah, it was at how many pounds is that even?
It was 1,157.
Okay, yep.
And that was raw with wraps.
Yeah.
But it was in some almost like an exhibition
the butts
meet.
Are starting already here.
Well, it was like where it was a team event where one person squatted, one person benched, and one person deadlifted.
That's kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting, and I think it was WRPF.
So it was not full power.
Right. You should pull that up on. Do you still have Open Powerlifting open? I wonder if that's in there. If that's in the database, or not.
I wonder does that count?
If that squat.
So they have his best squat in here at 11:02.
Okay.
And they could be slow to do it. I mean, that was just like 2 weeks ago. But
I don't know. I don't know that that's a powerlifting meet. You know,
and like squat only isn't a.
Yeah, that's not a.
I mean, if it's gonna exist, the WRPF would be the one to have it, I guess. But.
But did you see the squat?
Yeah, I did.
I thought it looked pretty good, but then like the one thing I was thinking when I watched it, I was like, this one's good, but Thor's wasn't.
Oh yeah, that's where
like,
it doesn't make any sense.
I'm like,
at all,
I'm not a judge, but I just look at the two and I'm like, shouldn't his be good too? I don't know.
Yeah, that's just where the whole thing is. Yeah, just trying to.
I mean, we've covered that.
Yeah, it just gets hard to take. Like, they all squatted it. Well, I mean, to what level of depth? We don't really know. We'll never know.
Right. Best Instagram/YouTube comment of the week. I didn't have one specific comment on this, but it was a post. We had reshared Thor deadlifting 1,041 pounds on the elephant bar at the Arnold, and that video went.
This is a big video for us.
Right. It has like 130,000 views on it, which is quite a bit. Got about 10,000 likes on that post and a lot of comments. So what I can always tell if we had a post that goes pretty big, number one, we start getting comments in other languages when I don't know whenever that starts happening, I'm like, okay, this is getting out there to a lot of people. And then number two, we start getting comments from people that I know are very outside of the lifting community.
Definitely
not people
that
power lift, not people that do strongman. Maybe they're people that go to the gym.
Yeah.
But
maybe
do not probably squat or deadlift, or definitely don't do both.
Yep.
And you can spot those comments from a long ways away.
Yes.
Because there might be a power lifter or a strongman that kind of makes a comment that can ruffle someone's feathers, but you know that they at least have
like
the
a foundation.
Yes, they understand enough to make a comment that can piss someone off. But these other ones, you can tell they are people that have no clue.
Just completely oblivious.
It's like, and then I wonder, why are you commenting? Like, what?
Just to let people know
why
how
are you?
are.
Why are you saying such a negative thing on something that you don't have any point of reference or really know anything about?
Yep.
But there's a lot of comments on that one like that. If you're bored, you can look at it, and we don't respond to them at that point or anything. It just kind of
Oh yeah, you just gotta let it go. Hopefully, someone polices it for it.
yeah. There's a lot of if you're interested in reading some good ones, that would be the post to check out because it got out there to a broad enough audience.
So you said, do we have two then? Is that what you're saying, or do we just saying that post in general is?
Yeah, just the comments on that post. There was a lot of comments about because in the post it references how that was a world record.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's a lot of people.
And everyone's
world
like,
record. Well,
yeah.
Eddie Hall has.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I'm like, yes, I know. Like we know that Eddie Hall deadlifted 500 kilograms. That is I mean, argue whether that makes sense or not. That there are these different world records, but there are.
Yeah.
And also, my point to that is, Eddie Hall's isn't a powerlifting like that itself is a different lift
than powerlifting.
So why is it absurd for there to be another different lift on a different bar? Because Eddie Hall's is
with
in a
straps
single ply
and a
suit with suit. So that's not a power lift. He's wearing straps. That's a different thing.
Yeah,
that's a strongman world record, I guess. Well, then Thor's is a strongman world record on the elephant bar.
It absolutely is. It's
Like,
no different than there's also a Hummer tire world
right,
record. Like,
right. So
there's a silver dollar world record one too. Like,
and in the description, it doesn't say this is the heaviest deadlift that anyone has ever done before of any deadlift variation.
It's just like really dumb people have to like make you like they have to let it be known that they might know more about something than you do.
Right.
And when they don't, but I mean that is what a Facebook comment section is.
Yeah.
That's all Facebook comments are.
Right.
Just find any post and it's just like, oh, this is everyone trying to prove how dumb they actually are.
Yes.
You know?
Eddie Hall does have a certain fan base too.
Oh, he does. Yeah, very.
That will,
they are very
that'll go to death defending
like
his
so,
honor.
all I can think of is because like he had a movie and then like maybe because he's British and there's not a ton of like British strongman. I don't know.
That's true.
But he does have a very hardcore fan base.
Yeah. I think Thor's kind of
getting
he'll that now too.
I do.
He's kind of getting that where he's getting such a fan base that he's getting
it's just opening up to everyone.
Right.
Everyone that's ever seen a barbell in their life.
Good or bad.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of, you can check out those comments if you want to read some specific ones though. Are we all right on time? Do we got time for?
We're an hour and 6 minutes in. So.
Oh, geez. But we've always got time for underrated or overrated.
Oh, we always do, yeah.
We've been getting a lot of listener feedback that they really enjoy.
Maybe we'll just put this on the front and just save everyone the time listening to the whole thing.
Maybe we'll do a full episode of underrated, overrated.
An hour of over-under.
Yeah. So this is underrated or overrated. It's lightning round questions. Some pop culture mixed in with some lifting-related topics. I asked Tommy. He can make the answers as short or as long as he wants to. Okay. Underrated or overrated? Meal kit services such as Blue Apron, Plated, etc.
Okay. I believe they're overrated.
Yeah.
Because also, like, it doesn't take that much work. If you're really that busy that you cannot find a time to go to the store and do that stuff, then, like, you also... They're just overrated to me.
Yeah.
I have heard people say, this is the exception I make, is that people say it makes them try new things because it just kind of pushes them on them. It tries new things, and then they spend time together as a family and make it. Okay, if that's what it does for you,
it's just you're buying an experience.
Yeah, if that's what it does,
it's like going out to the movie.
But I would personally never get one. If someone wants to give me one for free, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But I would personally never spend the time doing it.
Yep. So you're saying overrated.
I'm saying overrated.
All right. Underrated or overrated? The new Yeah Buddy shirt from Massenomics.
Extremely underrated.
Very underrated.
I mean, until we sold 1 million of those things, it's underrated.
That's a shirt that really pops.
It does. Like it really does. Like the colors they do. I mean, the most generic term you can use for design is pop, but this thing does pop. It does pop.
Is that a industry expert faux pas or?
Oh yeah, like it's like the if you could make it like a client like a list of like client catchphrases like Yeah, just do something like that, but just just make it pop a little bit. Like that's the one. Yeah, I mean there's a whole list of them, but that kind of is the famous one.
So underrated though on the Yeah Buddy shirt.
Yep.
Okay, underrated or overrated? Playing the lottery, buying lottery tickets.
Well, I don't do it, so I'm gonna say it's overrated.
Yeah.
But did you hear what happened?
No.
Someone locally won.
Oh.
The $1,000 every day for the rest of their life.
Oh.
It's like I think they said it's like worth over $5 million. Someone won it like yesterday in town.
No, this is unrelated to that.
Oh, I thought it was related.
No,
to that. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there is
I made this prior to that.
There is someone in this town. This town sold a multi-million-dollar ticket.
That'd be pretty cool. I've purchased a scratch ticket. I guess that's not a thing that everyone knows what it is. It depends on state. It's just a little ticket you scratch.
Yep, you scratch off and it tells you if you won or not.
Won $5 or whatever.
Yeah,
I've never purchased like a Powerball
I've
ticket.
maybe in my life bought 10 scratch tickets. Like mainly when you turn 18 or 21.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I gotta buy something.
Yeah.
Like then, and then I think through the years when the Powerball's gotten really big, I'm probably good for one a year. Because I have enough people like, did you buy one? Did you buy one? Did you buy one? Which should almost just turn me off from buying one. But then it's like, I better buy one. But yeah, lottery's overrated.
Okay. I'm going to skip one, save it for next time for the sake of time because it's a good one and we'll save it for next time. Last one, underrated or overrated, superhero movies.
Oh, to me, superhero movies are overrated. Like, I actually just got in an argument with someone about this. Okay, here's every superhero movie. Oh, it's a superhero. Life's going good. Things are really awesome. Oh, God, something bad's about to happen. Oh, man, they're really down. They almost died. Like, that was really bad. Are they going to come back through it? All the trials and tribulations? They come back. They overcome. Life's good. And I'm like, someone's like, well, you can say it about any movie.
Well, don't they say there's really only
like what, four types of stories or something
like that?
Yeah,
but superhero movies really are one type.
They are. It's just like a guy overcoming the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't do them. Like, because I'll be in situations where people talk, oh, you see the new Marvel movie or whatever. And I don't follow them. Like, I love the imagery's awesome. You know, the art behind it is all cool. Like, the comics, those are cool and everything. But maybe it's just also like the frequency that they're pumping them out at.
Yeah.
It just totally ruins it for me.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It feels like it's a watered down product.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because it is. I mean, you can't say it's not with as much as they do.
Yeah. So that's how I feel. And I know there's a lot of people that are diehard about them, but
give me the one prior generation Batman movies, and I could watch the.
I mean, I think that's kind of what started the whole thing.
Yeah,
though. It was like when Christopher Nolan made
Yeah.
Batman gritty.
Yeah,
like, that's kind of
right.
what kicked the whole thing off to me.
Yep.
And those were good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch them over and over, but those are probably the ones I've seen the most.
Yeah.
But like this Marvel thing, I can't keep up with the Marvel thing. There's too many of them.
It is.
The last one I saw was Black Panther, and yeah, it was entertaining, but to me, it was like it's a Marvel superhero movie.
Yeah.
Like that was what I expected. You know, the effects are insane. The
Yeah.
effects are amazing. They probably have like the budget in 1 second of special effects is probably like just insulting if you
As
knew how
much
much
as we
money they
spend
spent.
on all 144 episodes of the Massenomics podcast.
Yeah. God, they probably spend more on that like 1 second, like 1 second of footage than most people probably make in multiple years.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just not really for me.
Yeah, so overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that wraps us up for today, I think. Subscribe on YouTube, Facebook. Go to our website. Subscribe to the newsletter. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Most importantly, go to our store. Buy the Yeah Buddy shirt that we talked about, our newest shirt that's out. Our other new ones are out are the new variations of the OG shirt. We're both wearing OG shirts here today. The black on black looks really cool.
It does.
And one that's almost a surprise of how cool it looks is just the red. Red with white looks really badass.
Yep.
So if you're after an OG shirt, you can pick those up for under $20, and they do look pretty sweet. Otherwise, we got all the other usual stuff: lift shirt, bench heavy. All the full line of lift products, including the world's most expensive shorts, lift shorts. I think that's about it. That'll wrap us up here. We'll be back next time with some other great segments, I believe.
More segments.
Yeah. So, Tommy, where can they find you on Instagram?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
And make sure to follow the official Massenomics Instagram at Massenomics, and we will see you next time.
See ya.
You just heard the Massenomics podcast. With your ears, you're welcome. Check us out on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Massenomics, and make sure you visit Massenomics.com and buy some of that sweet Massenomics gear. From your friends at Massenomics Studio, home of the world's strongest podcast, stay strong.